Hi, I'm Nick Kibbe. I'm a military broadcaster. We're here at AFN Europe headquarters in Mannheim, Germany, and we're going to go and interview Scott Adams, who's Chief of Graphics here at AFN. Let's go meet him.
Fire!
All right. How you doing today, Scott?
Hi.
Pretty
Doing
good?
well, thank you.
All right. Well, this is Scott Adams, Chief of Graphics here at AFN Europe, and I am here to ask you some questions. And so, what do you think the role of visual arts in our mass-mediated world has to do in particular with your profession and what you do?
Well, I think these days that without graphics, you don't really have a production anymore. Graphics has become such a significant part of those productions that they bring all the text on, and there's the software that's available today and the capabilities of computers make it so that it's easy to work. I guess you could call it the Baroque period of graphics because there's such a great possibility for it.
Okay. And with new communication and media technologies and the way that they're constantly developing, do you believe that it's having a positive or a negative impact on the industry in any way?
I think it's a positive thing. I think the more resources and the more variety that you have available, the more interesting and possibilities there are. Artists that you would not normally see in mainstream now get pushed to the forefront because of that, I think.
Okay. And, I mean, do you see any kind of popular images that are always being rechanneled or, being brought through the entertainment industry that we see often?
Yes. I think a lot of what you see you see a lot of fiery and a lot of explosions. I think you see a lot more horrendous accidents and things like that because now actors aren't at risk and animals aren't at risk. So I think those kind of special effects for tragedy abound.
Okay. And any particular images that you think are popularized or created in your type of industry that just add more fuel to it growing?
Yeah, I think backgrounds. I think there's a lot of matte painting, and those are the images that are put behind the actors and stuff. And now instead of having to shoot on location, you have the opportunity to create whatever you want and to make these fantastical scenes that just don't exist in the world.
Okay. And can you think of any favorite artists you have, or anybody that gives you kind of inspiration for what you do and that just helps push what you do every single day?
Bill Glazer is one of the first graphic designers that I really got to understand. He's the guy that made the I Love New York logo, and that's a very simple concept, but you see it's hugely popular.
Yeah, sometimes simple is better.
Frank Frazetta is a great fantasy art painter he was very popular in the 70s, and he's one of my favorites too.
Okay. And do you have any knowledge of any famous artworks that may have helped you in your creative process, either early on in your profession when you started out, or even now, today?
Yes, American Gothic, which is it's the picture of the farmer and his wife, during the Depression time, standing there with a pitchfork.
Yeah,
I love it. That thing is reused over and over again.
Yeah.
So I think it's such a.
You see it in all kinds of ads.
I was always influenced by that.
Now, with what you do for the military, do you see any difference in between what you do for the military compared to what people that are doing the same thing you're doing out in the commercial world?
Well, they have a bigger budget in the commercial world, and their objectives are to create revenue for their station garnered through their sponsors, which we don't have. But the thing is that with technology and software capabilities these days and the expense of them being a lot lower, it's easier to train artists, and I would say we are pretty close to being on an equal foothold with what you see in industry.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Scott.
You're welcome, Nick.
You have it here in the Coleman Barracks here in North Mannheim, Germany, with Scott Adams, Chief of Graphics for AFN Europe.